Okay, that was Can You Believe It? It's a Tuesday, so it's all about religious mix-up. And inside a religious mix-up this morning, this afternoon, right now, we want to talk about this thing with clothes and the church. It is always an issue. But what is the appropriate clothes to wear to church? And I think women, more so than men, to a significant degree, have always been, the butt of this controversy. You understand? And people have all kind of opinions about it and so forth. So to help us understand some of the dynamics associated with this issue, we have with us today the Reverend Mary Wildish. Again, the Reverend Mary Wildish from the Trumpet Call Ministries International in Montego Bay. Again, it's the Reverend Mary Wildish from the Trumpet Call Ministries International in Montego Bay. Good afternoon to you, Reverend.
Good afternoon, Dr. Stewart. How are you?
I am doing quite fine. I want to say thank you for coming on the show today and helping us to understand some of the issues associated with this thing about what clothes you're supposed to wear in church and so forth. I guess I would ask you to just give us a sense of what the issues are, to begin with.
Okay, I will try my best, Dr. Stewart, to just give you a very brief sense. We know that oftentimes in the church there are a number of different denominations that have emerged in church life.
Right.
And various denominations have different beliefs.
Right.
Some denominations, have beliefs that usually it issues around the women, that women should, have their heads covered or wear pants, where there are other denominations that feel that it's okay for a woman to not have her head covered and also to wear pants.
Right.
So I think that would be the major conflict. We know that some denominations don't feel that women should wear makeup or cream their hair, while others feel that it's okay for women to do that.
Okay, I guess we've seen where, for example, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, in some Catholic church, for example, women can wear pants, right?
Yeah.
In others, it's frowned upon significantly.
Right.
We've seen issues in who can process here and who cannot process here.
Yeah.
We've seen issues in how long your skirt should be and things like that. I guess my first question is, given that all of this is aimed at women, is the real issue here one of systematic sexism against women, as opposed to, men having the freedom to pretty much dress the way they see fit?
Well, I wouldn't say that would really be the main issue. I just think that there are some scriptures in the Bible, in the Old Testament and the New Testament, that do refer to how we are to dress and to a head covering. And I think it has to do with how various denominations interpret those.
No. I am aware of the denominational differences. And I guess that's my first question that I want to help you. Why is it aimed at women? Why is this thing? Let me put it another way. It just seems to me that the effort is here to control women more so than men. Why? Why them attack set upon the woman them so much?
No, I don't think it's a matter of pointing it directly or with a heart to control women at all. I think it has to do with the fact that, one, women have more variety in clothing that we can choose from than men do. And I think it deals with some biblical interpretation issues. I really, Dr. Stewart, don't think it's an issue of feminism or an issue of trying to control women.
Can I just say, I have never heard the church having an issue with a man jerry curling his hair.
Well,
But I've always heard the church having an issue with a woman processing her hair.
No, there are churches that would have an issue with a man processing his hair.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I do know of that, sir.
Okay. Given that there are denominational differences, which demonstrates a lack of consensus, is it not the case then that it's not a God issue, but rather a culture issue, a human culture issue?
Again, I would go back to the point that saying it's a biblical interpretation issue, not a matter of a culture issue or a God issue, but how denominations interpret the Old Testament and the New Testament. I think where it becomes a God issue is the common standard that as women and as men that we are called to dress modestly. You know, that would be a common thread that I feel that as Christians and as believers, that we are called to be modest in how we
and I understand that, and I agree, and I think it would be universally accepted that we really don't want women or men going into church dressed in thongs only. But that can be debated too, because I don't know if you're aware there is for example, a nudist colony of Christians. I don't know if you ever heard they're in the south of the United States, and they're totally naked, and their thing is that, listen, we came into the world without clothes, and God will accept us totally naked. And you have a bunch of Christians walking around parading, showing their respective instruments and whatever. But that's a separate issue. But
that is a whole separate issue.
Right, that's a separate issue. But I'm saying, in general, we can assume that everybody wouldn't want people walking into church and say, you know what, I praise God the way I see fit, and I just want to wear a thong. We can assume that that's not the case. But I'm saying, though, when you said that...
Dr. Fletcher, one of the things that I would really like to say when I agreed to come on the show is that I really feel very strongly that one of the things as a nation we need right now to do is, as a nation, as the church in the nation, we need to unite and come together around the things that really matter. Okay. And to me, I personally have a belief system where I will wear modest pants, and I wear makeup, and I, do my hair. Right. But if I'm going to go preach at somebody else's church that wants me to wear a skirt, I will wear a skirt to honor their belief. Right, and
to respect them. Right.
And I feel that these are the issues that are, dividing the church in Jamaica, and we need to lay these things aside and let love cover all of these type of small, petty divisions, so that we can get about the business of truly being the church of God in this nation of Jamaica. We are a nation that is in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of division. We're coming up to Christmas time. A lot of people at Christmas time are suffering. They don't have money. They are without families. And I feel so strongly that
Reverend Wildish, I know ideally that's where we'd want to be. But Reverend Wildish, let's admit it though, that when it comes to aesthetics are very important to Jamaicans. Presentation is very important to Jamaicans. How you present yourself, it's critically important to Jamaicans. You understand? I honestly don't see us, getting away from this issue anytime soon. And perhaps it's one that we just need to acknowledge, face, and like you say, see if we can generate some kind of unity, with respect to fundamentals across denomination. Perhaps that's where we need to go. How best we can achieve that, I don't know. If it's something that to be done through the Jamaica Council of Churches, it's something we'd have to have. We see in France where the government has to be getting involved into the whole thing about dress and religion, i.e. the Muslim people there, and so forth and thing. I don't know if the government should get involved in it.
You cannot say to somebody that's in the ghetto, one of the issues that we have to, clean up yourself, then come to church. You have to let them come to church how they are, and when they're in church, we need to be the agent that helps them get their feet on the ground and get their life going. And so I think what we need, Dr. Stewart, this is going to sound like a very radical statement.
Right.
But Christianity is not just another religion. And I feel that, religion, we are a very religious country. And ultimately, religion is just law, and it brings death. But Christianity is a walk with Jesus Christ. And a relationship with Jesus Christ that brings liberty. And when I'm in relationship with Jesus Christ and I understand his amazing love for me, his forgiveness towards me, his ability to change my life, I'm going to respond to other people differently. I'm going to respond not out of a religious attitude, but out of love. And I really think, Dr. Stewart, one of the things that is affecting Jamaica is religion, a religious spirit that legalizes everything, that, makes people get bound up inside of standard that's impossible for them to meet, instead of introducing them
listen,
to love
Reverend Wildish, I trust me, I agree with you in terms of the irony of it all is that religion professes love, and religion has, and let's admit it, religion has played a strong role in holding it for a lot of Jamaicans in times of hardships and in times when their faiths are tested and so forth. So the church has played a significant role in keeping us spiritually healthy. But at the same time, ironically, it's all these denominational differences and differences in interpretations and so forth, have also caused multiple problems. I mean, talking about irony, it's interesting to me that Jesus is always portrayed in very, very humble clothes, wearing sandals, very often barefooted. And when I look on that presentation, I say, but them wouldn't let Jesus in the church look so in them places the way them are going. The way them are going, I said, them sandals, them all a problem with that. Them have a problem with Muta Baruka barefoot, them give it to him all the while. And all the while I say Jesus barefoot. Some of them people, the way them bossy and go on and think, them wouldn't let Jesus in the church to the day. Huh?
Dr. Stewart, the church needs a baptism of love. And I believe that God is doing it in this nation. Just recently, I am a pastor that I wear pants, and I don't know if you know me, I'm blonde hair and white, and I got asked to go and speak at some very traditional churches recently that don't believe in women wearing pants, but yet they had me in to speak, and out of love, I put on my skirt and I go preach the gospel to them. And I believe that as a church, we need a baptism in the love of Jesus Christ. The Bible says God is love. Now, it doesn't mean that love has no standards. Love has standards. But I think we need to be called back to that place of love. There are so many lives that are hurting.
Reverend Wallace, give me 1 minute. They just need to read a headline news, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up, and I have one more question for you, but they just have to do headline news for a second, okay? Yes, welcome back. We're inside Religious Mixup, and we're going to continue and conclude our very provocative discussion with Reverend Mary Wildish from the Trumpet Call Ministries International in Montego Bay. Clearly very passionate about her work and her belief in God and what the church and religion can accomplish here with respect to healing the wounds that plague us as a nation. Reverend Mary Wildish is. And Reverend Wildish, you were essentially you were telling us where we need to go as a nation, and with respect to the church and so forth. So please continue.
Yeah, Dr. Stewart, I was just saying that I feel that love. The Bible says that God is love, and love covers a multitude of sin. And when we look at the situation that our nation is in, that our government is in, that our economy is in, that this is the hour that the church must unite and come together, and we must lay aside all of the petty divisions and come together for the sake of seeing our nation healed and restored. Because at the foundation of it, there are a whole lot of people's lives that are suffering. That is not just about a nation, it is about individuals' lives that are suffering.
Okay, so within that regard, can we say that, okay, let's say, for example, churches should just ignore whatever jewelry people wear. Can we say that?
Well, I feel, okay, to put it blankly, this is how I would put it. If a church has a belief system that women shouldn't wear jewelry, shouldn't wear makeup, and shouldn't wear pants, what is greater than that belief system? Isn't God's love bigger than that belief system? Now, I'm not saying erase that belief.
Yeah, with her. It's okay with her. She can say that. Yes.
No, Dr. Stewart.
Yeah, talk up the things and talk up. Yes.
The love of God must cover that.
The love of God must supersede a bee rider upon the river.
Yes.
There you go.
And on the other hand, hold on. On the other hand, this is what I would say.
Yeah.
If I am a believer, I'm a woman of God, and I'm a believer, and I think it's okay for me to wear pants and makeup. If I am asked to go to speak at a church that does not believe in wearing pants and makeup, I think I should have enough love to put on a skirt and take off my makeup.
Okay, but that's easier.
The love of God must be bigger than these things, and the gospel of Jesus Christ must be bigger than these things. People are in need of truth in this hour, and the truth is the only thing that's going to set us free.
Okay, Reverend Wallace, all I have to say on the matter is this, that there is nothing wrong with churches requiring a human amount of culturally defined decency. Again, let me just say that. I see nothing wrong with the church requiring a human, culturally defined modesty and a sense of decency.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when the person and the church them step up with them self-righteous self and go on like it matter to God whether or not a woman's skirt. You think God have time for waste with them something there? You think God have time for waste to look how short a woman's skirt is and I measure them thing there right now? And when they present God in that light and whatever and so forth, with all due respect, I think they are minimizing the omnipotence of God and the significance of God and make God look like him and pay attention to trivial matters. They must
I think you're majoring on the minors, and I think that...
No, I think they are doing that. That's why I'm saying they should stop that.
That's
right.
what I'm saying,
right.
yes.
Right.
And I think that the love of God and the gospel of Jesus Christ must be bigger than these things. It must be.
One other question. Yeah, man. One other question before you cut, Reverend Mary Wildish. I mean, you're a woman and you say you wear pants and you're white and you're leading a church in Jamaica. Are there a particular set of dynamics that people that you experience regularly that we could say those fall in the realm of unpleasantries that you would want to share with us today? Yeah?
Towards me as a minister?
Yeah, you as a minister.
No, I have not experienced it, honestly, Dr. Stewart, because
People them don't have a problem with you being a woman, a white woman, and lead the church. You know, you're nobody at Dashwood Pine and all them some of them.
You know what me say? Me say me skin white, but me blood black.
Bye. Tambourine!
It's God's blood.
I love it. Talk up.
All right?
Yes.
So we're not to judge each other by the color of our skin or by our denomination.
Right.
It's my land, this as well.
Talk up.
And I love Jamaica, and I want to see Jamaica change, and I believe God is the answer for our nation.
I totally agree with you, darling.
Love of God.
Enough of them say out of many one people, and them don't pre what the thing means. Listen, you have my fullest support to lead the church and lead it well and do what is best for this country. You hear me? All right?
God bless you, Dr.
And thank you so much for sharing with us today. Reverend Mary Wildish, very articulate, very passionate. Reverend Mary Wildish from the Trumpet Call Ministries International in Montego Bay. Lively discussion indeed. That was a religious mix-up.